Hey friends, thanks for joining me again. Forgive me if I sound a little congested. I just got over an upper respiratory virus, and so I have just a little deeper of a voice than normal, but otherwise everything is totally fine. So today, I'm happy to invite you over to my house. So if you would like to come on in, please do. Okay, so here we are right inside the front door. First of all, I do want to mention that it is about 740 square feet of living space. It does have a little bit of a basement, which I might poke around and show a little bit of it, but we've never really been able to use it as living space for several reasons. It does not have egress windows, which means it can be a death trap in the event of a fire. And another reason is because when we first moved in, it tested high for radon, which is the second leading cause of lung cancer. So it's basically a radioactive gas that, occurs a lot in basements, and yeah, we don't want to get lung cancer, so there was that. Also in the wintertime, it is frigidly cold down there. So it's nice in the summertime, nice and cool naturally, but then in the winter it's just way too cold. So we've basically never really used it regularly for living space. There has been a few times when we were fixing our house when we actually did use it for living space, but that was so temporary, I don't think it really counts. So since we mainly use it as like storage space, or we used it as a guest room for a little while, I don't consider that part of our living space. So because we have a family of 4 and we've lived here for 12 years now, we basically outgrew the house right after we had our second child. However, we continued to live here anyway because it was affordable and we didn't really have any other options. So anyway, as you first come in the living room here, come into the dining area. We have a shoebox we fill with our shoes, a nice little coat rack, a bird clock, which is actually kind of neat. It makes little bird noises on the hour. If I turn that feature on, I can also turn it off. Some plants, of course, and then this is our dining room table. Doesn't take up too much space. A fish tank, which is why in a lot of my videos you hear fish tank in the background. That's when I forget to turn it off. A piano here, which my children do use fairly regularly because they are teaching themselves piano just with some books. And then on the other side here is the kitchen. Now, I did not clean up as well as I probably should have for a house tour video, so hopefully you can overlook things. So we do have a area with some bar stools. The kids mainly sit there. I like to keep them there because then they keep the mess right here, which is really easy to clean. I'm sure this looks very familiar, this shot right here, doing a lot of videos for canning or homemade cleaners and different things. Let's see what else. Oh, tropical houseplants. I shot that one here. So yeah, this area right here is my kitchen, and it is not a whole lot of space. There is enough space to stand side by side, but basically you can't stand too wide, otherwise it's just not wide enough for that. We do a lot of cooking. We cook every single day here. This kitchen is heavily used. It does have a dishwasher. We put in this dishwasher when we remodeled this kitchen a while back, and it is, I believe, an 18-inch, so it was a special order thing, but hey, I'm glad to have one. A fridge, and then a food cabinet. This food cabinet is not big enough because, like I said, we eat here every single day for dinner and breakfast and lunch, and every meal is made at home. My husband even packs his meals to take to work, so this food cabinet has never been very sufficient for being able to keep a week's worth of food on hand. So here is the living room. Again, this is going to look very familiar right here. Look at this. Camera set right around there for some videos from the couch, doing different videos on different topics and things like that. This here is my kitty cat Juan. Mr. Juan is my best friend. Aww. My best non-human friend. My husband gets jealous when I call him my best friend. So there is also a fireplace in the corner back there. We don't really use that. And another chair, and then an ottoman, which we use for books and things like that, and then this side has blankets, and so having the extra space really helps a lot. This is an area where we have our TV. We just kind of keep that in there, and it makes it to where you don't have to have, it in the way all the time, and you don't have to see it. It's not a very big TV, and it works perfectly for us. We have a hat and glove organizer right here. This made a huge difference in being able to clear up some clutter out by the front door. Let's see. vertical space. I mean, you got to use every little bit of space that you can. So even though it's a hallway, it does have this kind of like cutout thing, so it makes sense to just utilize it for something. This is our bathroom. We have had to redo these tiles twice because there was a roof leak that we did not realize was leaking. Here is our bathroom. This is mainly where we get ready and all that fun stuff. Okay, and then coming back here into the living room, behind this door we have a little organizer, and of course this looks really messy, but this has a whole bunch of tools that I use like all the time stuffed in here, and it makes it so that I can just keep stuff that I have on hand close by. I used to keep it in the basement, but it was just too much of a hassle to go down there all the time to fetch just like a hammer or a screwdriver or something. So this is an area where my kids keep their things. They have more games than this. We actually cleared them out some, and then they have more books than this, but we cleared them out some. And then on this shelf, this is actually where we usually keep our school supplies, but again, we've had a bunch of that stuff cleared out and we've packed it away. And then up here in this loft bed, this is actually where both of my kids sleep. I have two kids. They are 9 and 11. They're both girls, and then they sleep in that bed together. Maybe you remember seeing my video about heating my house with a greenhouse. We still do that. We are heating the house with the greenhouse today. It's getting kind of dark now, but I have had this fan on today, and it's kept the house really nice and warm. And then, of course, there's the greenhouse back there. I have some tropical plants brought inside. There is a treadmill. It folds up. Then I have a trampoline, which I use all the time. And then I have a foldable exercise bike in front of that. And then one of those little, like, foam rollers hung on top of it. And I also have some weights. I have more than just those two, but I have those set somewhere else. And so in this tiny little corner right here, I basically have everything I need for my home gym where I can exercise and everything. While it all folds up nicely like that, it does make it less convenient to use this stuff. And so sometimes if I'm feeling lazy, I'll just skip it. Whereas I think if that stuff was already like set up, all I had to do was get on the exercise bike, not take it out and set it up and put it in the living room, which doesn't really have a lot of room, as you can see. I mean, once I set up my exercise bike somewhere in here, it just takes up all the space. Sometimes I'll move this aside and then I'll set it up and watch like a show or something. And then other times I'll set it up over here by the piano, and then I'll play with my computer while I'm doing that. It just doesn't have a lot of space. Let's see. Oh, my husband's computer, that's why that's all messy, because that's his and I don't clean up after him. My messy technology stuff, he doesn't clean up after me, so that's why that's messy. We keep our homeschool stuff a lot in these two drawers, and then they keep clothes and stuff in that one. And so yeah, this is mainly where my kids' stuff is, and they really don't even have room in their own room, unfortunately, because we have so many other things we have to keep in here. And it's really not a private room at all. So this is actually where we keep some of our overflow for our food and stuff like that. I'll just spare you. Just imagine there's food behind there. Yeah, just like there is up there. Trash bags, other stuff that we just don't have room for otherwise. Let's see. Oh, here is the door to the basement. This is actually different than it has been for a long time. So here in a second I'm going to insert a clip. But this used to be a attic pull-down ladder. This is an attic pull-down ladder. This was originally built to be a storage loft, but then it was converted into a living space later on. So it has a weight limit of 250 pounds. And then we just took this down a week ago, and then we had a friend of ours build this stairway because we had some people come over and we showed them around our house, and that was the #1 thing that people didn't like about our house. A lot of people didn't even want to go up there or look at our room or anything like that because they were just too intimidated by that stairway. And the other thing is that stairway only held 250 pounds. So that makes it to where probably half of the population can't really go up it because many people are better than 250 pounds. So here we have our vacuum. I usually keep it here inside this closet. Again, I didn't really clean up a ton for you guys because you're my good friends and I don't have to, right? So here I have one daughter's clothes. Here I have the other daughter's clothes. And then I have some of our clean rags. And then these ones are for sort of our dirtier stuff. This is where we hang them up to dry because I don't like paper towels. So we clean everything with reusable rags. This is our laundry. And then just some overflow of different like cleaning rags. And then some of their like tights and different things. We have to utilize a lot of, you know, space that we have in order to keep other stuff. So even in the top. And so yeah, this is a room that has a lot of hats. You go through here to go to our bedroom. You go through here to get to the basement, which is where the laundry area is. You go through here to get to the backyard, which is right in front of the door where my cat is there. My kids use it, and then we go through it to get to the greenhouse. So it's not a very private room whatsoever. So anyway, let's go ahead and go up this cool new stairway. He's gonna fix that, by the way. He realized he had to move it. Okay, so this is how, now that we're at the top of this stairway thing, we actually just added this door. For the longest time, we did not have a door here. It was basically just totally wide open from here to the room below where our kids sleep. And it basically made it to where we felt like we were sharing a room with them. If we went to bed and they were still awake, they'd sit and whisper, and it would make us really mad because we need to sleep and they're not doing what they need to do. It basically did not afford any privacy whatsoever. Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't a good thing at all. Really glad we added that door and that stairway. Should have done it a long time ago, really. So here is my husband's side of the closets. We have these cool little closet cutouts where we have these little rolling, like, clothes racks. And so, yeah, he has his own side with his stuff. He has this little shelf for his pants and all this other stuff. This is an evaporative cooler since there's no heating or cooling to this room. Here there is a electric baseboard heater. It's the only source of heat in this room other than the greenhouse heater, which is below. And then we have this balcony. Perhaps you remember me recording some videos out on this balcony. Well, it's off of our master bedroom, this nice little balcony. I like it. Don't use it a ton, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Oh, on this side is my closet side, my socks and other stuff, my clothes, all on that side, some jewelry that I have there. So yeah, and then right here we have our bed. It's a queen size bed. There isn't a ton of space around it. We definitely have like probably just enough space to get around it. So that is our loft. That is basically all there is. Okay, now let's head to the basement. Hopefully I'm not making you sick. As we get to the bottom of the basement, there is a room here. These rooms cannot count as a bedroom because the windows are too small. And then there is the bathroom off to the side. It is a half bath, so just the toilet and sink. But there is a nice little cutout underneath the stairs we just came down so that you can store, you know, large amounts of toilet paper, etc. Pedestal sink. And then as we head this direction, there is another bedroom and room for a bed. When we turn around, we see the laundry room. There is room to store lots of tools and other items and things. There is a nice drip dry bar so you can save on using your dryer even in the winter should you choose to. And then these are the washer and dryer. So there you go, friends. That is my house. I'm really glad to have gotten to show you around it. It's technically 1,080 square feet, but like I said, we don't really use the basement as living space, just for our laundry, kind of the extra bathroom, which is helpful and whatnot. So that's what it's like to live in that much square feet for 4 people. It is definitely very tight, and there isn't really a whole lot of room, but it works. We lived here, like I said, for 12 years, and it worked out just fine. However, we are looking forward to moving on to something else. Let's put it that way. Anyway, thanks for joining me on this house tour video. We'll see you next time. I'm Frugal Green Girl. Thanks for watching. Say bye, Mr. One. Say bye.